Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have a super exciting video. I'm here with my sister Lizzie for Happy Hippos and my dad. I'm Olivia. I'm Dancing Dolphins. So yeah, we are going to be talking about the contest I hosted a couple months back. I asked my sister and my dad to be guest judges and they said yes, and they watched the videos, and we had such a fun time discussing them. We all really enjoyed your creativity that you guys expressed through super various different ways. It was super fun to watch, just like what y'all created. So yeah, we are here with the contest results.
Oftentimes when you guys come up with different video ideas, there's a process before you get started where we kind of brainstorm or ping pong. One of us will walk through and hear the conversation and, well, what about this? And ideas start ping-ponging around, and then what about that? And then and it sort of becomes a genesis or a seed for an idea and a concept that then you guys take back and really do your magic. But I've always appreciated being part of that process and seeing how where these things might end up going. What I think is fun about this is that we get to invite everybody else into that process of our conversations. It's very informal, very off the cuff kind of thing. We get to do it through looking at your work. And so that's even more cool because we get to see avenues and things that we didn't actually ever ping pong, right? So it's entirely different things.
A lot of the things that we started thinking about were because of your videos, like he was saying. We started thinking about like big picture kind of things, like what is conflict and why is it important, and a couple of things like that really, we had a lot of fun, like just brainstorming together. That's one of our favorite things to do with AGTube in general. So we figured we'd just throw a concept in the air and we'd think about it for a while, and we'd love for you to think about it with us in the comment section and let us know what you think, because this is like half the joy of creating for us is like just the
collaboration.
Yeah, the collaboration, the conversational aspect to it.
So basically we watched these videos with three categories in mind. Basically, I think it was like creativity, innovation, and execution. So like your idea, how original it was, and how you went about producing that.
Did you pull it off?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because sometimes we bite off more than we can chew on a creative thing, right?
Yeah, it happens. That was kind of how we went about like viewing your videos, and honestly it was really fun to see like different people go about their videos in different ways. And it's always interesting to see like what your strengths are in that, like whether that be like technical skills or like creative stuff. I don't know.
Just like idea, like we would have never thought to do that, but yeah, you did that. It was cool.
Yeah. It was really cool to see that.
You had 30 entries, right?
Yeah.
Exactly 30 entries, which was really cool. So we had to break it up over several days watching it because there's so
Good
many.
problem.
Yeah, it was really fun. Watching multiple people's like video projects like back to back made you pick up on things you maybe wouldn't have noticed if you just watched that one video. So one of the things that you were specifically picking up on was when you make a movie, you've got your visuals like with your camera, you've got your story with your idea, you've got your actors with, in our case, dolls, right? You have music. And you want to tell the exact same story with all of those aspects, right?
So that they compound and add to...
further your main goal.
That's right. And the opposite side of that is they don't detract from it.
Yeah.
If you've got all this stuff building toward one, goal, and then you have something that's a big distraction that kind of waters down and diminishes or weakens your efforts, obviously you wouldn't want to do that to yourself.
Right. And we saw some really great examples of really intentional use of all four of those things that are telling the same story, right? And so audio levels is kind of, I view it in that same category.
Yeah.
Because you want your audio levels to not take your mind out of that world that you've spent so much time creating. Even something as simple as like your dolls are talking at like this level and then it's like, hi, I'm Emily! Like that can be really distracting and take it out of your world, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people who we noticed specifically did that really well, and we like that a lot. And another thing that we've both found, and I don't know if this is this way for everybody, if maybe you have a really great set of earbuds, that's great. But for us, we don't edit with earbuds in because we found it just, the audio level is not the same. When you take your earbuds out and you play it like on your computer screen, it's like,
it messes with it.
So what you thought sounded right
in your ears
ends up not being
typically ends up being a lot louder.
Yes.
Whenever you take your earbuds out.
What I found in my own films is like I'll spend all this time editing, but what's really valuable is that last watch through before you upload it, and you think, okay, I'm fine tuning all these little things, but like how does this sound to my ears? So you can even close your eyes and think, do they sound like they're in the same room this far away from each other, or like does this girl sound like she's like screaming at her neighbor? Because we want to fix that, and you can in that last read through.
Yeah.
But a lot of y'all like did that really well. So yeah, it was super
Keep it
cool
up.
to see.
Yeah, totally.
Good storytellers can be born. I think everybody could become a good storyteller if they learn some of these sort of rules of thumb.
Like principles.
Principle, there you go.
Yeah.
So if you're intuitively gifted in that area, then you may say, rules are meant to be broken. But if you're somebody who says, you know what, this doesn't come supernatural to me, learn some of the principles and start with that before you start to, break the mold.
Yeah.
And just hone your craft.
You said something about character growth a second ago that made me think of something we kept repeatedly noticing and bringing up that we realized we really appreciate in stories. And when I watch a movie in general, if it doesn't have good character growth, it frustrates me, because I feel like I love seeing people grow in life. I like looking back and knowing I'm a growing person, and I love it when a character in a story also reflects that. A catalyst of character growth is conflict. You can't grow unless you've got some sort of opposition that you have to overcome.
Okay.
All of us were kind of brainstorming a lot about what is conflict and why is it important. That's something that for both of us we've really struggled with as filmmakers to figure out, especially on AG2, where kind-hearted, innocent, sweet stories with gentle kind of themes is really important to us, just because of our worldview and also just what our mission is on AG2, I would say.
Yeah.
Something that we've really had to think about is how do you have conflict while also wanting it to not be life or death, scary or perilous, traumatic.
Yeah. I feel when people typically discuss conflict, they're there's a fire, you're being chased off a mountain, drastic things.
Right.
Which conflict, yes, can be drastic, but the stakes don't have to be that high.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You can have conflict within your daily life. And honestly, sorry, I think we're going to the same place.
Go ahead.
The Lion King is a beautiful example of conflict. If you look at it, some people say, and I'm one to believe that conflict should be in every movie, period, or every story, let alone every scene, every shot even. And we geek out about this all the time. Yeah.
You've also got different types of conflict in the sense, you could have, a fire is chasing you down a mountainside. That's, a physical conflict, I would say. Someone on YouTube who I think has mastered the emotional conflict is Basil Mentos. Think about Trapped in Time.
So what I'm hearing then is there might be a general conflict resolution for the 2-hour movie, but there might be scene conflicts along the way.
Again, you want to tell the same story, so even your little conflicts add up to the big thing that kind of surmounts and grabs you and then resolves.
Well,
and
and sometimes it's man versus himself, man versus nature, whatever. And through those little ones, you can see how somebody is getting better and growing in that.
Yeah.
So that's where you're talking about character growth or whatever.
You grow during conflict. But then along with that, you also have to make sure you're resolving it. Because if you have a conflict,
yes,
and then you just leave it, then you're like, what's happening?
You almost told me an amazing story, but
So,
what happened?
I'm so glad you said this. One of the things that I judge a lot of these on, because I don't know a lot of the technical stuff like you guys do or whatever, it was almost purely just gut reaction to story. And one of the litmus tests for me, even in a feature film like the movie, if I walk out of a movie theater and I want to keep thinking about it and I want to keep asking questions, well, what about that? If it begs questions, win.
Yep.
If you've made your audience think,
There were a couple of those that we watched multiple times because we were like, that is the coolest thing ever.
and then and you're like, I know I missed something else because my brain was cranking on that. So then you watch it again and you get a different angle.
And you notice something new. Yeah.
Kick it up a notch.
Yep.
Yeah.
So before we get to announcing our actual winners that we kind of collaboratively chose, and it was really hard out of 30 people.
Really hard.
And specifically when you have different people who are really good at different things, you're like, how do I even compare you to you? Especially when the categories as broad as creativity.
I think it's so cool how, like I said before, some people are intuitively, naturally good at certain things. They may not even know they're good at it. Some of these different videos had, something that just jumped out. You're like, wow, that was really, really good.
Yeah.
I just want to know, because I don't know anybody, right? Do they know that they're that good at that?
Yeah.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The story you're telling and the time that you took to tell that story is, making an impact on people that you don't even know.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, that's so cool.
It's really cool. So a couple of the, just specific things that we wanted to just call out to encourage you guys, because a couple of these things really stood out and I've thought about them since we saw them.
Yeah.
And they're random, so they're just gonna be quick hits on things that we really enjoyed. One of them was called The Alien Encounter, and this one was by Summer Solstice AG. And we're going to have the playlist linked below so that you can actually go and watch all these videos and really see for yourself how great they all are. But this one, we were super impressed with her use of lighting. Lighting is something that's hard to master, and she used like different color lighting.
Yeah, because different colors evoke different emotions.
Right.
And the way that you went about this was so well done.
And you don't, it couldn't have been accidental because it was.
No.
It looked super intentional. Like, but like.
So
in
you're
the
either
best of
super
ways.
intuitive and didn't realize you did it, which is hard to
Oh, you're
imagine.
very good.
Oh, you're very good.
Yeah. But then the other thing that like actually like threw us so off guard in a great way, and we have since
Watched it multiple times
and
because-
continue to like get just such a kick out of it, was your alien's outfit.
Yes.
This doll is, for those of you who haven't seen it yet, go watch it later.
It's great.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, there's a character who I think is an evil alien scientist, and she's dressed this character like to the nines in the most
It's
like
fantastic.
crazy outfit I have probably ever seen on AGTube.
Yeah.
So is that the Creative Costume Award then?
Yes, like
Yes.
if we were giving Creative Costume Award, you
Would win.
blew
Sweet.
it out of the
Yeah.
water.
One thing that particularly stood out to me, because I recently have been really trying to pay more attention to like how I edit my videos. The Supernatural Summer by Trinity's Corner was super like technically edited super well. You had like lots of special effects with like superpowers and whatnot, which was super cool.
And done well, effectively.
Yes, it's particularly the airplane scene, especially when the door like opens. We paused it, rewound it. 'cause
We'll
we're-
show it here, like y'all.
Yeah,
for
like,
those of you who haven't seen it, the dolls literally survive an airplane crash and fall out the back of an airplane, and you see the gate
They, like,
go up
fly-
on the
it was
airplane
so
and
cool.
They fly out into the rainforest. Like,
Yeah.
it's cool.
Well, there were multiple times I like was looking at Lizzie. I was like, I don't know how she did this, but this is cool. Like,
We literally were in a coffee shop today watching that video. We paused it and we were like, how did she do this? Like, it was that technically crazy.
the second thing about that video that was also really interesting is you had a battle scene. Personally, I've never seen that on AGTube.
No.
Maybe there's other ones. That was the first one I've seen.
I've seen a standoff before, like where it's like you're not supposed to be here, but this was like a full-on like I'm using my
flips
firepower doing flips like in a
slow-mo
field.
shots,
Yeah,
cool, like-
we were both of us were like, did she stop motion this? Did she video this?
Yeah,
it's like the
like-
doll does a slow motion backflip and her
like,
hair's
her
flying
hair's,
and
like,
she's
flying.
flinging fire as she does
Yeah.
it. We were
Nice.
like, what the heck? Another one was called Rebecca's Walk, and this one was really like the feeling that we left after we watched it was so. I don't know how to describe it. It was just such a peaceful video. We'll put a little clip, and you guys really should just go check it out because it's really cute. But basically, her doll is going to walk in this beautiful like backyard park kind of setting, and there isn't actually any words in the video until the very end. And at first, Olivia and I are like, wow, this is a really beautiful backyard. Like, the dolls are cute. They're dressed in, like, these historical outfits. But then it gets to the end, and she's like, you're my best friend, Samantha. Both of us, we turned to each other, we were like, that is the cutest.
We smiled through the whole thing.
Yeah.
It had good pacing. For me, I tried in the past several years to improve with, like, I would have my dolls talk, and then I'd over-film, so it'd be like, hi, Samantha. How are you? Like, super, like, slow.
And it was a bit teeter-totter.
Yeah,
Right.
it was just, like, really boring.
Because people's conversations in real life, like us, are, like, almost talking over each other.
I typically fall into like the too long of pauses between. Like I know I've also overcompensated, and then like now we're talking over each other, and you can't understand a single thing you're saying.
And that could give the wrong feeling to your reviewer too, because that can stress people out if there's no breathing.
Sure.
in.
And then your brain can't comprehend it. You're like, what in the world is happening? And several of you like nailed it, and it was like subconscious to where like we had to watch it multiple times and be like, wait, do you see like the pacing there? Like, yeah. Hey guys, it's the next day and I'm editing, and I realized that when we filmed this video, I never actually reiterated like how the placing is going to work. So there's going to be first, second, and third place. First place is actually going to get a $25 American Girl e-gift card. And second and third are just going to get like honorable mentions. I had mentioned that before in the video where y'all entered, but I just want to like re-explain that here. Just like as a reminder. So yeah, I will reach out to first place and like figure out like how to get that to you. Okay, so we are gonna get into the exciting part of this video now.
The moment you've all been waiting for.
Yes. Okay, so third place goes to The Princess and the Pea by Effie, Me, and My Dolls. We loved this video so much. I love her voice. Why you? This is like a family dinner.
Them to the kitchen.
I really like the silky backdrop. It's very colonial feeling.
There's a young maid dripping on your doorstep behind us. I love these costumes.
She really is
And the poofy hair.
Yeah.
quite lovely,
She
son.
must play the mandolin. That's really cool. Sounded Georgie.
You be my sweet pea.
with the music, it booms right there at the end.
Yeah.
I love their accents so much. Yeah.
She slowed the pace of their speaking down too, to make it more regal.
Yeah. The mom's voice, I think, is my very favorite.
Yeah.
And all the mentions to the scullery maid.
Yeah. It felt like a real fairy tale.
Yeah. It almost feels like it could be like a book or something.
I liked that one a lot.
And I don't know if you wrote the P song or if that's a thing that already existed, but that was really funny.
Yeah.
And also, like, if you played the mandolin, which sounded like you did, that was really
job.
good. That was very unique. That was perfectly paired. And the alliterations that you used were awesome. Like, at first, this is my, like, third time watching this, I think, and at first I really picked up on the P alliterations, like Percy and his peas or whatever, but I noticed Muddy Magnolia and
I didn't even pick up on that.
There's a girl dripping on our doorstep.
Dripping.
Like, that was so funny.
And then she was wet.
Yeah.
She glistened.
Yeah. Everything about this one kind of spoke the same story to me.
Yeah.
The music, the really cool backdrop with the castle at the beginning.
I loved all the costumes too. Like in the first, it's one of the first couple shots when he's like walking past all the princesses. They're all like so royal looking.
It was very cute. So really, really great job.
Yeah, congratulations on third place.
Yeah.
So second place goes to the art contest by A Day in the Dollhouse. We absolutely loved this video, everything about it. It was so good, so well done. So yeah.
I think it's ironic that she's creative. Her creative entry is a creative contest.
It can't be
Yeah.
too complicated.
Yeah, that is cool.
I only have a week.
I like all the mini paintings that she's got that are actual
Yeah.
paintings.
Yeah.
I like that her bed is scaled for her.
It needs to be something special, but
Do you-
what?
I wonder if she likes painting in real life. Like, is this based off of
Somebody painted those,
her life? The set's very scaled.
Yeah. Take too long to
and the
dry.
colors correspond.
Yeah. I like how you animated her putting her hair up. That isn't easy to do. It looked really effortless.
And Sage has a lot of hair.
She captures the artist, staying up late, losing track of time.
I love how realistic their dialogue is.
Yeah, like the space between their lines is just right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lose.
She feels like a real person to me.
Yeah. And the shots from behind the easel.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. It's tempting to want to focus everything on the direct.
This is so relatable.
Well, in your opinion, what's
Pearls make the grandma look.
That's cool. She paints a butterfly and she's the butterfly.
the best idea ever?
It's a self-portrait.
That's cool.
This is our second time watching this.
Yeah.
So she's painting you really, go watch the videos.
Yeah.
But she's originally was gonna paint a self-portrait. She paints herself at an easel. But then her grandma calls her little butterfly. And at the end, she paints this awesome painting and it's a butterfly,
Yeah,
which is
it's
a
a
self-portrait.
self-portrait.
But it's imagery
I-
for herself.
That's cool.
I didn't hear
That's
that.
so
That's cool.
cool. That's so cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And the music is like inspirational and building at the end.
Yeah.
Totally love it. One thing we really liked about it when we were talking earlier is like the way you painted the story made it feel like your dolls were living their lives and we just like tuned into the story in that, like 8 minutes of your video. But I kind of had the notion that like they're still living in your imagination in their world.
Yeah, like before and after the video.
Yeah.
You know what I like too is that the little sister is almost the most quirky one in the whole story. She's like comic relief. She serves the role of comic relief in the story,
Yeah.
like the jester would do or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I could picture her like just scrambling around all the time around her sister, and
yeah, that like the line where she's like, "This kid's going places." That totally like we
Yeah.
were losing
she's
it.
comic relief.
Yeah, but I also like how like the family dynamic between your main character and her family. There's something like really like peaceful about it.
They were kind to each other.
Yeah, I really liked that about it.
Yeah.
Even the little sister, even though she was like kind of a like
You're not gonna win,
yeah,
but I
even-
like it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like even that felt,
That's like a little sister would say.
but it wasn't mean. It was
she wasn't trying to be mean. She just wouldn't have the.
the filter.
The filter, yeah.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
It was cute.
It was really good. I liked that one a lot.
Yeah.
And even watching it a second time, there's like the little like minute details. Like I didn't notice the butterfly thing the first time. Like super, super well done.
That's really creative.
Yeah.
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 So overall, I absolutely loved it. And
Thank you for making
Very
this
good.
so that we can watch it. It was
Yeah.
very cool.
super cool. And yeah, thank you so much for entering. You are really, really talented.
How many people can relate to that creative process? I'm
Probably-
quitting, never doing this again.
yeah.
Wait till the very last minute, cranking it out.
Make something that you love.
That is like every day of my life.
Okay, so for first place,
The winner of the prize.
the whole contest, the prize winner.
Enchilada.
The hot enchilada? What do you call it? Ew, the hot tamale?
Did time
Covered in queso. Like, I'm gonna stop.
Well, anyway,
You're the hot enchilada.
moving forward.
Drum roll, please.
Can't do drum roll. First place goes to The Photograph by Katie Sparks AG. Woo! I probably watched this video probably 15 times.
And probably 7 of those were in one night.
I
like
watched
back to
it in
back.
2 sittings, probably about 7 or 8 each time.
Yeah.
And not because you're confused about it.
No.
But because it begs questions and you go back and then you catch new things and
It's
You appreciate
your
so well
different
done.
thing
Yeah,
is
yeah.
impressive. So then you talk about it and you're like, I didn't see that. And
Yep.
you go back.
And
So good.
also the thing that like first initially caught us off guard that we loved was that you did like a classic music video, which people had done before, but you actually wrote and sung your own song
That's
Yeah,
creative.
in it
Hello.
and did it really well. Like,
yeah, so well.
yeah.
And everything about it is so good.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, your voice is beautiful.
Yeah.
We literally just played it. We were like, I just want to hear her sing again. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and like the next day, Lizzie and I were like, wait, what was the line?
We watched it at like midnight one night together, and then we went to bed and we woke up and both of us were still singing the song when we woke up the next morning. So
we're like, yeah.
When a movie or a song stays with you,
Yeah.
that's proof.
Because it wasn't just the song, it was both.
yeah, we'll watch it and then we'll talk about the deeper themes that we really enjoyed because there was just so much about this that all of us
So good.
totally loved.
Yeah. Okay.
I love this one.
I like that how the lighting in that photo makes it look aged.
Yeah.
And even their posture, like you can tell they're bullies.
The tone of her voice fits the mood.
Her song tells a story and the video tells a story, but they tell the same story.
Yeah.
Still shots. Pause.
That's a still image and it conveys it.
It's pacing.
Yeah, but that would be it's not intuitive to leave one shot, one image still that long.
I also love how the kitchen has like dirty dishes and stuff, like
Yeah.
things aren't getting done.
Yeah.
And the contrast with the shots, like the
Colorful
sets,
room versus like
full
bland.
versus empty.
Yep.
That's really
Your tears are beautiful.
Wow.
That was skill.
That looked like video.
I think it was stop motion.
Yeah. Still image.
Exactly, that's what I was saying. She stares at the camera.
This is bright now.
Yeah, I know. It's acceptance.
I haven't picked up on that till now.
Yeah.
So it begs the question, like, that's why I think that we keep going back and watching it, is because it begs so many questions. So, like, I want to know about Jamie, right? And I want to know about, like, that character, just the storyline of that. There's questions that I have.
Yeah.
I want to know what her life is like now afterwards.
Yeah.
Because, like, you kind of left it on this awesome, like, resolve, but also kind of cliffhanger of, like, she's come to terms with
It's
grief.
not cheesy. It's not like she's, okay, everything's fine, normal.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to have this the rest of my life, but
But I've grown in it.
yes.
It's
Yeah.
character growth.
Yeah.
Because you can't connect to a character that you don't see vulnerable.
Yeah.
And this is like deeper than age YouTube usually is,
Yeah.
which is so cool.
So just like that other video where we said, this is an artist.
Yeah.
I can tell that's a real artist because they've been there and done that.
Yeah.
And I'm one, so I recognize this. I relate to this. This person, I can't help but think, wrote this song, has a personal relationship with somebody that is gone, and it was so believable. I'd be super surprised if that was just, no, I wrote this song because I read a book that had somebody die in it, or whatever.
Right.
This is so authentic. Like, there's a...
There's a rawness
Yeah.
to it. Yeah.
Which is so cool.
And what I really liked musically, I've never seen somebody on YouTube write their own song, perform it, and animate to it. But what I really liked about the song itself, like even just judging the song,
Yeah.
apart from the amazing
Right.
visuals, like whenever I've tried to write a song before, it's very repetitive. Like it doesn't have, like, your song actually had the qualities of a good song.
Your song told a story.
Yes.
That's what I was going to say, is that the lyric doesn't spoon feed the listener.
Right.
So
Yeah.
just like a good story isn't like just la 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 la. This, like when it starts off, I'm confused by this song a little bit, which was good because it's adding the tension you need for
Asking
a story.
questions.
And then you hear a little bit bits and more, and then visually I'm seeing like a note on a table that helps fill in the gap a little bit. And
Right.
then now when we go back to the chorus, I'm like,
That makes
Oh.
sense. And then when you watch it again, you appreciate it even deeper
Yeah.
because you had all these questions the first time through that were really good.
Yeah.
The way that you performed the song with the guitar, but specifically with your voice,
Yeah.
like there was almost a sadness in your voice that like drove it home. Like I feel it when I watch it, you know, and I love
And I don't know
that.
about y'all, but I can't sing whenever I'm sad.
No,
Like or even happy. Like any super emotion that I have affects how I sing. So to compartmentalize your emotion and while singing about that emotion is hard. Like that's a difficult thing to do.
like I think creative people in general, I wonder, kind of have that need for that like decluttering of your mind through like artistic release.
Yeah.
And I think that like for me, like
Or artistic appreciation.
that's
But
the same
at some
thing.
point you have to have the production of it. An artist has to create.
Well, do you guys ever feel like when you see good, like really good art, it actually does give you like a secondary form of that release?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think of it as inspiration. It's
Yeah.
like a recharge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. When I hear Katie's song, when I see the visuals and the stories that she's telling, it has that same effect on me. Like that release feeling that I feel a lot of times it's music for me, which may be actually why I have that reaction to this.
Yeah.
It stems from music for me. So that was really cool. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed
This
experiencing
touched
that.
two buttons though for me. It was the audio musical thing, but it was the visual thing too, which is what made it so much more cool.
Gripping.
Yeah. I was gonna say I don't know anything about this artist, right? But there's a maturity there. And I don't mean age, because you can be immature and old or mature and young, but there's a maturity with self-awareness and with just herself, right? And understanding her own emotions and not even necessarily being comfortable with it, but at least accepting the fact. I don't know, there's a stability and a security in that, in how she approaches those emotions. That's a maturity
Yeah.
that I think is admirable,
Yeah.
and that in itself is inspiring.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, wow, if this person can handle this type of rough emotional time, I probably could too. Like to
It's
me,
encouraging.
that's what's so strange is that it's a very sad topic and a very sad story, and yet I find it inspiring, uplifting, hopeful.
Yeah.
And that's a very counterintuitive, which actually the contrast of that and the twist in that, this like the plot twist kind of aspect of that, is strong. It strengthens the story, but it's so compelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing that I don't think I picked up on the first, maybe even couple times that I watched, but as I've watched it over and over again to appreciate it more, I really appreciate the scenes that you have in like the dark room with just the bedroom, the
Purple.
beds. Yeah, it's like a purple bedroom set, very like empty except for the bed. And at some points you have it lit, kind of like dark and purpley, and at other times at the end it's actually bright, and that's the only time in the movie that it's bright. And so Olivia and I kind of, you want to expand on that, like what we really liked about that?
I mean, I don't know what you were necessarily like intending with this shot or like these like shots in this set.
Yeah, we might have missed other stuff too.
Or misinterpreted it. That's
Yeah.
art,
Yeah.
very interpretive.
Yes,
That's fun about it.
But like to me, it seemed like it was like her mental state, and I don't know if that was what you intended that to be or not.
Like
but
her headspace.
yes,
Yeah.
and
And we're seeing it in her head.
I loved how like you had. I know in your description you described this as like going over the like stages of grief and whatnot.
I saw that.
Which like at first I was like I didn't quite differentiate between them. But the more I watched it, like the more like minute things that I noticed, and like the lighting particularly in this like mental space was like you use that. I don't know if you did that intentionally or not, but it was so well done because like when she's like angry and throwing the pillow, it's like red and like.
I was gonna say that's her cocoon. Like she recedes into the cocoon, and that's why like the frozen still shot. It's like intimidating. You can't get your eyes off of that girl's eyes staring right at you.
And that was intentional because dolls close
Don't-
their eyes when
yeah.
they lay down. The way you have her position, she just looks glazed over.
Catatonic,
Yeah.
which is how she felt.
Right. Which you made a doll that doesn't have posable elbows convey catatonic emotion. Like, that's amazing. That's so cool.
So cool. Yeah. Well, like people in like filmmaking and storytelling always talk about like emotionally you cannot connect with a character unless you see them vulnerable. And this whole thing
Yes.
is vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yes.
To where you do connect with this character because it's vulnerable.
I almost feel like I haven't at this point had to lose anybody really, really close to me. Like this girl lost her sister, you know? But I think the same kind of feeling of like loss can apply to different things in your life that you have lost even if it's not exactly what this girl's gone through.
Yeah.
So like I almost feel like I watch this and I see mirrors of like my own life in it, even though it's not to the same dramatic extent.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which I really liked because I felt like I connected to the character in the same way. And as she overcomes it, it is like what you were saying. It's encouraging because it's like hopeful. Like
I keep scratching my head. Like that's not what I would. I would not expect to have watched that and said that's inspiring and hopeful.
yeah.
I would have thought I'm gonna be sad. I'm gonna walk out of the movie theater crying.
Yeah.
That's a sad movie. Like I would have labeled this a sad thing, and yet that's not how I left.
Yeah.
Which to me, I actually think is welcome. I whether it's the opposite or this way, I love having a curve thrown at me, and I go, "Ooh, didn't see that coming."
Yeah.
Ooh, well done, well done. Did y'all get the feeling it was her singing?
Yes.
The doll.
Yeah, it was that character.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like
You don't know that for sure, right? She
no.
never shows hers with singing with a microphone and a guitar or
which she
anything.
could have easily done, which would have diluted the story.
Exactly. But I was convinced the whole time, like, the person singing is this doll.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny is now that you mention it, I did have that thought, but I wasn't thinking it was her like in that season of her life.
No.
It was her on the other side of it, which is even cooler.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that shows growth.
Yes.
Now she's looking back and going, okay, I was here. This is how it was. This is real.
Yeah.
It's not going to change.
Yep.
I'm not going to disown it and, what do you call it? Shove it, pack it away. I'm going to...
She processes her grief like what she set out to do.
Yep.
And so then she's going to say, that's real. That was there. I'm owning it.
Yeah.
But I'm doing it from a place of hope and inspiration somehow.
Which is
In a
how
song
it
that
ends.
sounds almost happy. Like, I still wrestle with that. Well done.
Yeah. And like we set out with the three main things we were judging this on was like creativity, number one, innovation, and execution, right?
Yeah.
And I think creatively, this aced it. Like
Yeah.
Oh, on so many fronts.
Yeah.
Innovation. I think it's innovative to have a story with no speaking.
and a song that you wrote and performed.
And then also, like, you don't see grief on a YouTube, really.
Ooh.
No.
And
That's a hard thing to do.
And honestly, if you
with
do,
dolls that always smile.
right.
Okay, another
Yeah.
thing, like, I kind of forgot it was dolls. Like, sometimes it's like, oh, like, this is
Yeah.
a doll video, but this was, like, a story.
Very cool.
Super, super cool.
We were blown away by all of her entries. Like,
For sure.
very
All of them.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, well, I guess that's kind of the contest results. Thank you guys so much for entering. This was so fun to do, and all of your entries are so inspiring. So I will,
Keep up the great work.
yes, I will link the playlist thing in the description, so you should all go watch everyone's entries. Super fun. So, yeah, I guess with that, that is the end of this.
See you next time.
Bye.
You're all the hot enchiladas.
Or something.